Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be a really quick video response to Robert Z's I Have a Question video. I haven't been too active in the VC the last few days and probably won't be over the next couple of days. Just a lot of stuff going on, but I know there's a couple of contests I need to respond to. Or Harmless Rebel just put up his 300 subscribers contest and a couple others, so I'm definitely going to get to those over the weekend, and also back to a number of messages that have been sent to me. But this was a really quick question I thought I could answer before I kind of hopped in the shower and ran back out here. So simply put, Robert Z's question was, when you bring new stuff into your collection, how do you handle it? What do you do with it? All that kind of stuff. How do you process it? All of that. So that's what I want to kind of do, is just do a really quick video to just share that really fast. So I have a couple of just really basic rules, and I'm kind of holding the camera like this because I figured it'd be easier to kind of walk around and just show really quick. A couple basic rules that I have that really help me keep things kind of organized and together, if you will. So Z-Man, to start off, this is my little cart right over here, and basically everything new that comes into my collection, things I have to listen to, goes into this cart. So, as I've said a number of times before, nothing goes on my shelf or goes into my collection until I've actually listened to it. Even if I don't necessarily check out every single second of every single song, I have to go through and get a really good feel for every single song on the album before it goes into my collection. So this is where all new stuff comes. I guess typically I don't usually run into buying 50, 70, 80, 90, 100 albums at one time, so this has always kind of been able to do the job with the amount of stuff that I typically get. So that's rule number one. Everything goes over here that I need to listen to. Rule number two, anything in my collection, really in my house for that matter, that has a protective sleeve on it. A record does not get a protective sleeve until it's been cleaned and put into my database. Right over there sitting on my desk over there. So that's the other rule. If I go to a record store or a record show and I come home with 12 records, and oftentimes they'll have sleeves on them, as soon as I come in the door and take them out of my bag, I pull them out of the sleeves, just so it goes right into the process. So I can look at this and say, Kool and the Gang, obviously this album has a protective sleeve on it. It's been cleaned and put in my database. I just haven't listened to the whole thing yet. Same thing here. Been clean, put in the database, but Al Jarreau does not have a sleeve on it, so it has not been cleaned yet, and it's not in the database. So to me, that's a very, very simple way of keeping track what's what, even if I'm shuffling around and doing some stuff, and I may set two of these records over here for some reason. I'm taking this to do something, the phone rings, so I set it down over there. I don't get lost or confused about what I've done with what record and what stage it's at and all of that. So that's how I keep my records kind of in the process of knowing, or maybe I should say my process is cleaning, listening, and putting away, but that's how I know where every record is in the process. That's probably a better way to put it. And then the same thing with the CDs down here. When I get new CDs, especially thanks to Tutor now, I clean them all. So before they get put into a protective sleeve, this is one I showed the other day. Before they get put into a protective sleeve, they get cleaned and they must be put in the database. Then they get a sleeve, and then they go down here. And until I listen to them, they stay down there. And so this stack over here, actually, there are no sleeves on there. So I know that those CDs have not been cleaned yet, and I have not listened to them yet. But the exact same process for CDs. So that's how I do my vinyl and my CDs. Box sets, that could be another interesting one too, because obviously with a box set you may buy a box set and be very excited about it, but do you really want to sit and listen to every Bruce Springsteen album back to back before you ever put it on your shelf? Because that could take a while, unless you really want to listen to 5 continuous hours of Bruce or something like that. So what I do with my box sets is the same thing. I clean the CDs before I bring them into the collection, if you will. Before the box set goes on the shelf, it must be put in the database, so that always has to happen. But the one thing that's kind of different about the box sets, let me grab this one here. This will be one good example, because I know I was just listening to this last night. The Essential Masterworks, a 10 CD set of just classical music, Mozart, Vivaldi, all that kind of good stuff. Now what I'll do with these, again, in order to make it to this stage, it has to be cleaned and put into the database. But then once it's over here, you have like Vivaldi here is the first CD, and then you notice the next CD is upside down, and so are the other ones here. So that's how I keep track of which CDs I've listened to in which box sets, because very seldom do I sit down and listen to every CD by that entire artist or collection as soon as I buy the box set. I mean, 10 straight hours of just straight classical music is probably not something that I'm really going to do. But that's how I keep track. So next time I get in a classical mood and I go back to the set, I know exactly where I left off. Let's see, another example. This will be a good one. Same thing with Blue Oyster Cult. Sometimes what I'll do is if it has a nice booklet like this came with, I just insert the booklet to kind of mark my spot. So I know going through the set, the last Blue Oyster Cult I listened to, Spectre's there. So the next time I go pull some Blue Oyster Cult, I'm going to be listening to Enchanted Evening. And that's how I, kind of get myself to listen to an entire set, just kind of all the way through in order. And I know exactly where I'm at on every single set. Get this closed with one hand. So, I mean, if I get into a mood and I want to specifically listen to something else, I'll go and, grab whatever. But I think it's kind of cool, too, just be able to actually go, you're going to buy all the studio albums, be able to listen to them in order. And that's how I kind of keep track. So you'll open up a lot of these sets and you'll see where at some point a CD is upside down or something is in between and blah, blah, blah. So the last thing, which would be on cassettes, cassettes are actually kind of easy. I have everything regular A through Z and genres and everything. But right down here, you'll see these are all my cassette singles, little paper singles, which end right there. So everything from here over are, on down to that, these bottom two rows are cassettes that I have not listened to or gone through yet and are not in my database. So sometimes, again, when I get in the mood, I'll come over here and just be kind of looking through, and it's like, oh, let's check out blah, blah, blah. I'll pull out those cassettes, listen to them, they go in my database, and then they go up here into the collection. So that's how I process cassettes. All right. So, see if I can get back in the camera there. So there you go, Z-Man. That's kind of how I process stuff that comes in, and with all the different formats and just music always floating around here or there, I found that those very basic, simple rules have helped me keep everything right in order, and I've never missed putting something in my database or anything of that nature. Even on the flip side, I don't know if I said this earlier, if I just I've been pulling a few records I've been selling on eBay. Excuse me. As soon as I pull those records and I know I'm going to sell it, or the second I hit delete in the database, that sleeve comes right off that record immediately. So that always helps me know, again, just kind of where I'm at and what's going on. So there you go, Z-Man. Hope that answered your question. And as always, we'll talk to you soon, VC. And like I said, I'll be back probably around this weekend to respond to a lot of the stuff going on and kind of get caught up. All right, take care, guys.